If you go back 10 years, I would say that the biggest outbreak of cholera was in 2014, and then it entered into like 2015. That 2021 was a lot. I do have about 120 deaths, and almost every region reported cases. But then I think somewhere 2015, 2016, 2017, just had a few cases in Central region, and then there were just one or two imported cases that were getting from either Nigeria or Togo.
In 2024, cholera resurfaced in 𝑪𝑯𝑶𝑳𝑬𝑹𝑨, a community in the Cape Coast metropolis of Ghana's central region. For Pobi, a 39-year-old welder and father of two, the disease was no longer a distant memory. It was closer than he thought.
The mom and petty the ma addiction. Addiction, I could come addiction, baby 5 down. If two, no son, I do now. Maybe boom good moment to me and a monster. It's better than a wife. No. I will not be baby saddle, so I will not be saddle, no, no. Ah, this will be having no so. Mutum. Toilet na akwa egu dem ya say muntum the toilet not some come from one mama from hospital into them so I be feeling to muntum na muntum from one no from one check pa one ko.
Pobi was not alone. In Cape Coast, the municipal capital, over 270 people were hospitalized during a regional breakdown that recorded more than 3,100 suspected cases and 19 deaths across the central region. Health officials in Cape Coast traced the outbreak to unsafe water sources, poor sanitation, and unhygienic practices.
Sanitation is an issue here. Most of the community, people litter around anyhow. The final disposal site has always been an issue. Defecation, open defecation, the facial folks and other thing is another issue. You can even see a community like Abra. You think homes should have toilet facilities, but they don't. And people still defecate outside. Just behind their houses, sometimes in the gutters, at the marketplaces, people do their own things over there.
While those infected with cholera in Cape Coast were being treated at various health centers and hospitals, isolated cases were reported in Accra too. Within days, these isolated cases escalated into a public health emergency. Ms. Christiana Nyako recalls her terrifying encounter with cholera.
My experience with cholera has been a very harrowing one. On my way to work, I stopped by at a food joint and I bought wachi. So when I got to the office, I consumed the wachi. I didn't experience anything until around 3:30 to 4 o'clock. Then I felt certain pains in my stomach. And some few seconds later, I felt the need to use the washroom. So I rushed there and I used it and my stools turned watery. I thought, oh, this one is going to vanish. So I just took my eyes out of it, but not knowing what was coming was even worse. Then the second time, then the third time, I started getting alarmed. So I took collodium with the hope that is going to cease so that I go home. When I took the collodium, I felt nothing changed. I still was passing stools watery. So within 1 hour, I had gone like 5 to 6 times. So I was feeling weak. Drinking water also didn't help. I was feeling weak, and then some few minutes I started feeling nauseic, and then I rushed to the toilet again, vomited. So I was going to the washroom intermittently, vomiting at the same time, and I was getting weaker and weaker. So it got to a time I couldn't even get up at all. I had lost body fluid, and my eyes was also going dim. I was like I had lost bowel control too. I felt like I was dying. That was what so even at that moment I was in serious panic.
Cholera is an acute diarrhea illness caused by ingesting food or water contaminated by Vibrio cholerae. It reflects deeper issues of inequality, poor sanitation, and limited access to clean water. The disease causes severe watery diarrhea and dehydration and can be fatal within hours if untreated. Yet, with oral rehydration salts, intravenous fluids, and timely antibiotics, most lives can be saved.
You know, cholera transmission is fecal-oral from feces to the mouth. So with personal food and environmental hygiene practices, if they are enhanced, they can go a long way of protecting the population. Cape Coast, one of the diseases that normally occur in Cape Coast mostly is cholera. So we normally intensify our surveillance activities during mostly the rainy seasons, and then we also go around with public education to sensitize the people on personal food and environmental hygiene practices.
Ernestina Kwachua, a public health nurse, and her team of volunteers have been on the door-to-door campaign educating residents on hand washing, safe water storage, and early treatment. Their efforts are saving lives one household at a time.
Because cholera is a deadly disease, nurses don't feel easy in managing it, so we have to alleviate fears and anxiety. So we went around encouraging them, reminding them of their safety protocols. So we didn't sit at the office. We were all public health officers went around educating them, and then also answering the question that they were not able to answer, assisting them. We work as a team, so it puts pressure on all the nurses, the staffs, everybody.
Dr. Franklin Asiedu-Bekwin, Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, emphasized the need for sustained investment in water and sanitation infrastructure to break the cycle of cholera.
Yeah, so you see, cholera will manifest as a disease, but the precursors are not from that. It's more development issues. It's about access to water and the sanitation. So in trying to address the burden of cholera, we call it a multi-sectoral approach. So it's water, sanitation, health, community, all must come together to address. Just that because you will end up in the hospital, it becomes like a disease. But if you want to address cholera, you go back to say, how are you getting water? What is sanitation like? What is the behavior of the people? So that is the thinking. It's not purely a health issue. It's a multi-sectorial issue.
Cholera is tied to sanitation issues, food safety issues. So it's high time the AMA, the Ghana Health Service, and all other stakeholders step up with their duties of ensuring that food vendors, in particular, live up to the highest standard of hygiene when it comes to handling food.
One of the benefits that we had from COVID was the regular use of hand washing and then water. So it was a good practice. And let me say that intervention, washing your hand with soap and running water, is one of the most cost-effective interventions you can ever have.
Cholera remains a threat, but it is preventable. With clean water, proper sanitation, and strong community engagement, Ghana can eliminate cholera for good.